Well, hello everybody and welcome to the stream. Gonna crank down that music a little now. I'm gonna crank it down inside of OBS as well, just because I suspect in OBS it might be a bit louder than it should be. So, welcome! Today we're going to be finishing off the build menu. We're going to make it as an external event. And the goal is basically when I go in here, I'm going to try and break it down easily now. We're going to finish this off all today, and this can be pretty much the last of the few things we need to do to push this update. So now when I click this, it doesn't spawn it. It doesn't do any of the events. The code exists. It's just it hasn't got anything to show it. So it's essentially the way this works is the code has an error catch where if it's not working for whatever reason, i.e. the thing's not showing, it just cancels itself out. Doesn't try doing anything, so you don't get phantom buttons. It does that. It puts a console log. See, thinking ahead. So it puts a console log. So if I click on this, it doesn't do anything. It goes, oh, there's an error. So I can see there's an error. Obviously, the player won't, but there is a file called console.logs. Every player gets that. And if you have an error in your game that is in the code written as game breaking, it will go there. And then you can come to support for that. But that's a whole side note. So right now, we know for a fact that's not working. The reason it's not working is the element that's doing it is physically not in. So it can't show the image, not the image, the UI, which is an image technically, I would say, to do anything with it. So there's that. Now I need to also hit these buttons up here linked up so you can get some stats on these. And I think there's a few more things. I could be wrong. I'm trying to think what we might be missing. Obviously, one of my big tangents is I don't show every part of the game on stream. We show exactly what we're focusing on for the day and fixing and renewing, and we don't focus on other parts. Now, I have actually rough built the mechanic that we're doing here already is what I was getting at. The code exists. So I made a page, not showing it because it's not wired in anywhere, so I can't show you that. And then I preview from that page, and I can see that both the panels, I've got the info and the build, they work. They look horrible, but they work. So today we're going to make them not look horrible. We're going to wire it up. And we're going to write some additional code to make sure that when you're in that menu, you're not accidentally clicking on all this. In other words, a turn off switch that will trigger. So you can't click around the states, so you're locked in on the state you're on. This stays on. You're locked, you can't change it, and you can basically go from there. So, join me, I guess. We are going to delve into this a little. Now, let's have a see, shall we? So, I have somewhere the exact thing I was looking for. So let me show you the things we're going to be working with here. To find it. Here we go. So this is actually already written as needed. So it's the info page I want first. Save, where is it? View. Okay. Now then. Let me show you this. Now, bear in mind we're in 4K, so this is going to look a bit small on my monitor when you're in the game. It shouldn't be as small. I will actually zoom it in just for make it a bit easier. Oh, zooming in has changed the scaling. I'm going to pre-warn you on that. How am I looking? Facility. There we go. So here you go, it's the zoomed in version. Zooming in does seem to make it look a bit broken, although that needs fixing a bit, I'll give you that. So when you click in on this specifically, you can pause, resume, deconstruct. Otherwise this can be removed. You have modules eventually, and you've got the stats here. Now down here was a graph system, so you'd have graph information. I'm going to get rid of that in favor of, in the future, adding some logs. Each building, so you can see, like, if say they've run out of materials, they had a strike, so you can see what's going on if the information here is interesting. Now I've got some filler information on this page, there is that fact, but I've also basically hard-coded into this the language. So in other words, if I was to change language to say UK, which is Ukrainian, everything but metal and this changed, which makes sense because I wanted all the buttons and the main text linked in. That's fine. That's not linked in. It's code that's running that. That's good. And Espanol. That's not Espanol. If I type, oh, I've typoed. I wrote a typo. That's fine. We'll try again. Spell right. Spanish is SP, isn't it? Not ES. Not ESP. 1 minute. Where I got SP from? Over in GDev, everyone's wondering. I'm just looking to see if I can very quickly ascertain which code is Spanish. Oh, it's ES. Yeah. Spanish is ES. Espanol. Oops. Well, we, for some dumb reason, called it SP in my code. Which is fine. Because I then thought I made a typo. It's not a typo. It is actually because I'm an idiot. Right, let's go back to the page. And change this to ES to SE. Run that. There you go. If you know what I'm using here, I'm using with a UI editing method. So I'm running in the browser to show what it'd be like. Technically, that's what also GDOT does, so it's not too wild. The background I can disable because I don't need that. So yeah, that's the page for that. And then the next thing I need is the edit page. Do bear with me, I need to flick over to that. I hope everyone's day is going well anyway. Right. Try this. Why is that universally handling that and that? Okay, also, what is going on with my code in the edit page? There's a bug with the for loop that generates the boxes, and I actually don't know why it's doing that. Bear with me a second, guys. Okay, we'll fix this live. I'll have a look what's doing it. So basically, the UI generation is supposed to have a 2x8, so that's 2, 4, 6. 6 is actually the limit. Strange. So why I'm saying that's strange is because I didn't think it would be the limit. So the real reason why there's this here, as you can see how it's laid out, is actually simpler than it seems. It's simply because when we take the static UI, all that's going to happen is this here will be taken as just one static. I'll flip to that, take another, and then overlay them so that the effect here is not counted. This will all be text disabled, and we'll build it out in GDevelop on its own, one singular static point, and that'll save a lot of space instead of having all these. I would love to put them as code though. I don't think we could get away with it. I don't think, anyway. It's how I've been doing it for the better part of the past 2 years, so it's been working so far. Let's switch to main scene for a second. There we go. Right, okay, so switch back over to the game. I'm going to get the static for the first one made. So for facility slots, we'll just simply get that quickly, and then we'll be ready. Do bear with me. And we're going to go to the scene where it's going to be handled, and we'll go from there. Where am I looking here? Right, no, I'll show you guys this. One sec. Go back to this. So the way this works, I'm going to show you as it happens. I've not done it yet. What you're going to see in a second is the text will disappear. It should in theory. And that way we can go forward from that. I just need to find my bit of code. There it is, there's my bit of code. If I do this, bingo. What I'm doing, I'm just working this out quickly. So we need to take this as static, but for context, it's not going to be accurate if we do that. So we'll do it here. We will ensure the zoom size is not messed up, of course. And then all you do is we get the static literally. So we'll take that as a stat. There we go. My only issue is these boxes here. So what we're going to do actually, before we use that static, I'm going to disable the boxes as well. Now, I always hate them because they don't work with other languages easily, if that makes sense. So you end up with some really broken stuff going on. So all we're going to do to do that is basically, in this case, I guess comment them out would be the easy way about it. So we know that they existed. We're just not going to use them. Yep. Bingo. You gotta love it, guys, eh? Gotta love it. Right, take that as a static. There we go. That's all we have to do for that. Right, switch to GDev because it'll take literally a few seconds for me to get it into GDev as is. Yeah. So all I need to do is replace the existing assets. Let's just check that the existing asset is in. Yep, it exists. And all we're going to do, we're going to go to the build manager. Okay. We need the existing asset. Now what I'm going to do for this, the existing asset needs to go into the central UI. It needs to go in here, and it needs to go somewhere in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the buildings. Let an icon on layers specifically. And we'll drag that there. Now it's going to give me that warning. Yep, that's fine. The reason it's in there is purely because this might be reused in other places. Additionally, key fact, additionally, we need to be able to count how many of this exists to know if a external layer is on the screen. That's the only way I've so far found out you can do it. So we'll basically say how many of these exist. Okay, 1. Good. Any more than 1, delete them. Don't make more than 1. And that will prevent any sort of like lag due to it constantly adding in more and more and more and more until your PC runs out of RAM trying to have all these entities added. Believe me, I've been there. So we can clearly see here that the build manager is currently the old version, the generic, where you can see it's just simply click what you need, and that's it. And all we're going to do to this is first we're going to check the measurements matchups. It says 700 by 616. That's quite an easy thing to check too, so we'll easily measure you, so the one we just made, and it's going to be 700 by 616. All right. It's good. And all I want to change in that one, we're going to flick back to it. I want to fix that upper button. So we're going to go back to the issue at hand. Bear with me. So I recalled I didn't fix it and I wanted to fix it. So for context, the thing I don't like about this is this button here, right? This little button, say little, it's not lined up with the grid at all. It's offset weirdly and it's really written strangely into the code. It's my error, to be fair. But we can see that now. I believe it's called title left and it's back button. I'm correct, yes. So we're looking for back button inside of the program. Button, hover, one, contact. Okay, hang on. Let's keyword search it because it's clearly not showing, is it? Are you the only thing that exists for that? It's a script that does it, and there's that. Okay, so you don't exist in any other capacity. Okay, title left maybe is what we want then. Yes, it is. Okay. The gap is 8. Right. Okay, guys, let's try and work this out now. It's not the easiest thing to zoom in on because it doesn't really have any sort of like normal web page mechanics built into it. So what we'll do, we'll get it this way. I do love this panel for this. So it doesn't really give me a measurement there. Right, bear with me. I'll get us the measurement. How much more do you need to move over? 1, 2, 6. It needs to go 6 more to the right. And if it's set to 8, that means it needs to go to 14. Save. Alright, run again. Right, so we can clearly see that didn't work for some weird reason. Right. And you definitely are in that panel, yeah. So we go in here, we can see it's actually applied. Oh, it's a gap. Ah. Aha. Right, yeah. So what's actually happening here is inside of you, the gap is 10 between those. The padding's 10. Yep, so the padding needs to be 16. There we go. As for the button, you're definitely too tall. In my opinion, and/or it just doesn't look right. So I'll make a custom version of this button for this function. First, what we'll do, we'll just change that back to 8, we'll save that, and we changed the... where is it? UI title, we changed it to 16. Save. So if I refresh the page now, that's now fixed. Good. Right, so button is the style we want, and we want to copy that. Okay. I'll hit back button, and we'll just jump to where we are quickly. Last back button, jump back to where we just were. And then the minimum width is fine. It's the height limit we want. So we're going to say max height. I'll say this for a second. I want to see what this will do. That strangely keeps it at that, meaning it was already running at the maximum height it can be with the gap. Okay. What is its height right now? I actually don't know. Your maximum height is 32.6. Yeah, see, exactly. It's not really a fixed number anyway. Do that. What's it look like now? That feels more reasonable. No, I like the previous one, but we'll go 2 extra on the previous. That looks more reasonable to me. Yeah. What do we think? Eventually I'll have a button up here for the wiki, say the wiki, but you know what I mean, links. I also don't know why you have a weird gap. The joy of UI design this. So it's 12 all around, right? Yep. Go to 125 so I can see this. It's 12 all around, is that what I'm understanding here? Yeah. You're clearly not following that, or are you? These buttons are deciding their own height regardless. Control stack, gap of 6. top right. That's positional literally. So I'm saying 10 pixels less from that. Don't know why, but okay, fine. What was I thinking when doing that? I've got a clue. That would keep it compliant. That's not going to solve this really, unless we was to maybe take away just one whole pixel. Right. I mean, it looks more compliant now. I would say that's within tolerance. Yeah, that's within tolerance. So we took away 1 pixel on that, which it was in the control stack. We took away from gap of control stack 6 to 5. Okay. So now if I refresh the page, we're all set to transfer this over. It's tolerable, that. I can live with that. We also have this image placeholder here. Now I'm debating if we want to keep the image placeholder. I guess we will for now. It won't hurt us to have to change it later. In theory, in practice, it'll just be a pain in the back. But it is tolerable. So that's fine. Right, so... So, I've written that up as a note. So all we need to do now is take you over here. Take you to normal zoom. Grab you. We don't need you now. We can go back to the game. Perfect. It's already looking 10 times better. That is stunning. Oh, grab that, like so. And we'll also make sure we grab it as an independent. So it's L1, copy L1. And all we need to do is replace build with L1. All right, assets, and it's going to be page, and it's going to be map, and it's build menu. Hey, look at that. Now, I know the midpoint is roughly 9.4 by some. In theory, the game actually already has code that will put it in the right place, right? So we relaunch the game. Yeah, so you see that? So that's where it will look like positionally. I like that. You get a nice little pop-up of what's going on there with the building specifically. We have to have different things here. I think the quick buy will get replaced with some sort of political thing, although we have these as well, so you know, it's not absolute. Apologies, just taking a drink. So, now we're going to get the fun part. We're going to have to take this into a external scene and wire it up in a way. So let's get to doing that, shall we? So we're going to go into build manager. I'm going to grab it as needed. So build manager, wrong thing. In fact, I will keep that in there in a second. I'll work it out. I think your value, if I'm not wrong, is 610. Yeah, it's 610. So that's a 610. That's exactly where it will be normally. Right. Now we've got a few things we need to wire up. We need to get the back button, these buttons, the text, the values, the titles, all these different things. Now what we're going to do, we're going to actually be a bit cheeky. We don't need this page open for now. We are going to steal some already written out text values. So I'm going to copy you. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to just add a random sprite so I got something I can click on to paste in this area. Go, delete that random sprite. All right, there we go. Right, now for this, I'm going to be more than confident to say you like this, but what we'll do is we'll offset you in a minute. So what's this size here? 84? Right, perfect. So we know that's 84, so two 84s need minusing off in a minute. Let's check that line. Looks like it's 1 pixel over, maybe? Yeah, it's 1 over. So 666, oh Jesus. There we are, guys. We're already condemning ourselves a bit, aren't we? So what we need to do now would be 8, and then we'll get this position. So this is where we started with, and it's just going to be a case of 1. Okay. Bingo. There we go. Now, in theory, that will never be an issue, but in reality, it could overlap. But we've used the date time value. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to change this to say build mgr underscore title, like so. I'm going to edit you to try and mimic how the page looked. It's going to be a little hard to do, but we're gonna try it. So honestly, that page was size 13 font. I'll go with 14 for this. It did have quite a thickness in width, to be fair. There is that obviously present. I'm debating if we yeah, we'll do it. So change the font to align. All right. So it's going to say let's see, slot. Okay. Now then, we're going to preview that quickly. We're going to make sure it all looks good. That's good. Now you might think to yourself, why is it like that? In fact, you can't see it because it's not a full screen technically. Yeah, my normal previewer does not know how to handle this because it's not got any like handling code for this. Because normally it's a different type of page name and stuff, but this doesn't have that. It doesn't even have the core mechanic to be full screened. I have to physically do this to make a full screen. So yeah, just so you know, bit of fun. Now what we'll do, just to keep it out of the way, we'll minimize that. And what I want to do is check that this then works on the other page. Now, there'll be 2 tiny issues. This text will not follow. Just bear that in mind. But we're going to go in here real quick. We're basically going to say true. There's no way to delete the object. So only if it's less than 1. I need to remember how to clear those, but that's fine. Now if I click preview on this, it's now going to have an issue because it won't recognize this. Oh, it did. Strange. And as you can see here, we got, I think, 1, but we're going to double check, guys. So we're going to run as a preview debug session. And we're going to go straight into debugger. We don't really care about this. It should have loaded it. It did. Right. And we're looking for, right at the bottom, it should say, although it might not be at the bottom. I might need to open it first. Let's open it quickly. Yeah, cool. Refresh. This is the joy of trying to find stuff. It's the build menu. It's going to be under B, although it's not really alphabeticalized. This is it. Build menu, 1 instance. Works like a charm. Right. Now then, what we need to do, it's an external layer, right? How's it written in the code? 1 sec. So it's not really code, it's just like a thing. Right, so let's have a see. So let's read this helpful article, shall we, little? We're gonna take a minute to go read this article because I think this is eye-opening as to how this actually works. I disagree with it being this way, but it is this way. So we're looking at the forms. It says to be specific to the original question. Someone called Silverstreak in this case. External layouts are for building prefab layouts of objects and then importing them into scene via event logic. Once imported, they are no longer part of the external layout, nor are they addressable as such. To put another way, you are creating an object from an external layout into your scene. You are not adding an external layout itself into the scene. If you want to track the objects created by external layout, there are a few options. Suggestions: create an object group in your external layout and add all of the objects to it. The object group will need to be global for this to show up in a normal scene, though I've only ever needed to target objects specifically created from external layout, but this was the method used. Another is add a object variable, something named like source layout string, methods target objects and variables. Right. Never mind, this is a while ago. Heads up, that's not how external event works. Yeah, I know, cool. Non-global objects based off this would just not fire. We'll try something, but I feel like this is a big letdown from GDev here. It makes sense. You can only create an object from external layer. I want to add a bit of code. And so we're going to make a function here. We're going to call it keys. We're going to press a key. When key is pressed, J in this case, it's just for testing this. When J is pressed, I want it to delete the fun part, the object. Right, that's part one. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a sub event. And I'm going to try and do it in such a way for each object, right? Select an object, that's going to be a specific event. Nope. This is the joy of trying to think of how to do it. It's not an array, nope. Yeah, this isn't as easy as it looks, is it, guys? Because we don't have a way. Yeah. We don't need to delete it, I don't think. What we're going to do, it's going to build it, right? Okay, it's built it. And what we're going to do, guys, instead of having it be an issue in this layer, we'll have some code that will handle its appearance. And when it's supposed to appear in this one scene, it will appear. Well, it will also be removed when it's not needed. I do wish there was a better function for this, or if it was made a different way. You could just import a bit of UI from a different page and then get rid of it easily. I'm not seeing the easy way to do that. I could be wrong, though. I don't want to edit you because you're not going to do anything. We actually go to the... Oh. Where are you calling from then? I'm now confused. .10 by 9.4. I'm okay with that breaking this because... Oh, nope. 6.10, 9.4. For some reason that changed your width this time. If I recall, which I don't actually. What was your width supposed to be in this page? 498. Oh, there we go. Now then, if I delete this from here, what's going to happen over there? Stays there. Right. Okay. I got to maps. Your curiosity. I realized that was still there. That might have been affecting it a little, but we'll close out the game. Preview. Good, nothing happens because it's not being called on. That's okay. So we're going to go into the map bit and we're going to say external layouts this, update. Aha. We had this before. Yeah. So if I'm not wrong, I run it with a debugger. It is a pain spotting the damn thing. We need a search function in here. We've got so many things on a scene. I mean, this is making my life hell just trying to spot it. Yep, see this, it's gone runaway. It's made as many as it can, and the code will only handle one. So what if I said not equal to? It's purely worth a try, a bit of fun. No, it made it still. Okay. So that doesn't work easily. That's what we'll find out very quickly here. I also see why it's counting the wrong thing. So the code was right, which is kind of the wrong thing. Whoops. Right, we're looking for the build menu. This is why it's in there, bear in mind. Although I don't think we need it in there for this. I feel like we don't. Is a less than one preview. Okay. Let me guess, you made 1,000 of them? Made 72. Why are you making 72 of them? Yeah, counts the number of objects living on a scene. Doesn't seem to be doing that correctly. Trying to think now how I want to approach this because I'm kind of stuck here a little. You making the text as well by any chance? Like the text called? It's build MGR title. I want to have a drink while I'm trying to find this. The MGR part would stand out, is my opinion. Yeah, it's not in there. Okay. Strange. Right, what we're going to do, we're going to try a different way. We're going to intentionally delete you. And we're going to intentionally delete you. In fact, you would already be not existent. Yeah, you no longer exist. I need to find a way of going about this in a different sense. Yeah, see if I know one of these is my, yeah, the sim, new sim, old sim, yeah. Right. You know the easy way we could do this, I guess? We don't want it global. If we wanted it purely local, I can copy you, paste in that folder, delete you. Boom. There's a building manager. Go to UI, new folder. Okay. In theory now, you can only exist once, yeah. Right. Here's what we do. We're going to build it off frame. A fair bit off frame. We'll do it at 10,000 off. Do the right height though. There you go. Okay. We'll build it here and we'll work on it here, and hopefully this won't be too annoying to do this way. I put you two in a different... I need to get the animations of the weather in the game. I just realised because they don't exist. Damn it. That's my mistake. Just check. Yep, only one of you exists. Right. Oop. Undo that. One nine eight. Turn 6-2. Yep, that's lined up. Did I move you by any chance? I fucking did. I knew I did. There we go. Now then, we need to take off 84 off this, so it's... What I know. Yeah, I got the number the wrong way around. Right, let's lay this out properly. So it was 13. We did 14, but we'll do 13 for a second. It's the facilities management page. Let me make life easy for a second. Pull this up. Facility slot. Okay. Yeah, odd number on bold text does not work, is what we've discovered very quickly in this place. Still not sure about you, but we will keep it for now. Build type title. Drag you here. I think in specific the title, yeah, it was size 14 as well. It's just not bold text, so it's regular. Something plant sounds like an appropriate name for it. I'll intentionally then set this to be pixel depth of 10 away. Why is typing being so hard for my brain today? And the width for this will make 250. Center U, that's fine. Take out center, sorry. That's the type. Reduces. And cost. Per day. I realize in the demonstration the text has not just the cost per day but cost in general, which is an inaccurate statement. Trying to spot if something's off here. I'm trying to work this out. So your must be size 12. 12. Let's do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There you go. Make them all 20. Realize they're all being weird as well. Let's do that. There's 4. Okay, for these, we'll make these 15. I'll make it 16, just as an even number. So, yeah, that's right. That's right. Make it 18, that'll be fine. There you go. Right, good. Now what I need to do, edit. I'll focus on the back button next now. I'm a little leery this is big enough. I won't lie. So we'll duplicate you. Doesn't need to be text for this, it can be a physical button, but I'm going to make it text just for life simplicities. What goes back? Yeah. Do regular as well, though. And the font size on that can be 12, it doesn't need to be huge. Right, next thing to do is over here, so we're going to have these as well, so it's going to be pause, prod, resume, decon, pause, resume, decon. Perfect. Alright, I'll add these in. Realize they're not going to be the correct ones because these do need to be centered. Yeah. If I grab both of you, you should now still line up. Yeah. Oh. How are you? Oh, you're not. I say, how are you perfect? They're not. They just overlap. Right. And then the best part about this is we just simply turn that off and expand this to about 32 because that seems about right. I've been doing web design too long. The fact I eyeballed 32 that easily. We had the other day we were with a class and it was like draw a shape and I've just done it live. Remember, I made this weeks ago, so there's no way I've remembered that. Like, I didn't even know what it was. I was just like, looks 32. There's something about my eyes. Right. Oh, I think, if I'm honest, the button should be a little smaller. Now bear in mind this is the layer with the building on it. We have the layer with the building off it. and everything else. So do bear that in mind. Stuff will change. So, right. Let's go on to the modules now. Try to remember what's my documentation say. It's documentation. It's font 11. It's definitely thicker than normal text. Okay. So we'll have module title. And it was gonna be place. I'm gonna use the centering for this. It's gonna work perfectly, I think. What the hell was that? Ah, the space isn't perfect though. Well, if we take it down to 38, I can live with that. Oh. In bold. Okay. And then we'll have you as well. I feel like you are 40. Are you even the space as well? Strange. Yeah, also 250 in case we need it. As for you, you're going to be building summary. I know it's called slot summary because it's a slot you're clicking on, facility slot. Yeah, also, you want offset. This is offset. Occasionally happens that we do that just so this doesn't budge. Cool, building summary, and this we're going to get some fun. So we've got output, efficiency, workforce, upkeep, uptime, and risks, or risk. Now, the last one, risk, is very complicated in the simulation, but it has so far been going okay. For output, that's easy. Yeah. Oh, I yawned. I'm trying to think what else there is in that list. Right. As much as I sound like a crazy person. I'll have it be some title, so that's fine. And we'll have this be... Oh, no. Output. I did look at that a few times, yeah. I need 6 at least for text alone. Right, so we need you to be output. We need you to be... I don't want to write the whole thing out. Efficiency. And you to be the workforce. That's just a static value for now. We're not messing with that, but it will allow you to in the future. Upkeep. Uptime. And last but not least, the risk. I do miss the graph feature. When we made the graph feature, it was great, but it just takes up so much space. Hey Cass, welcome to stream, welcome to stream. Sorry I missed your message just then, I was typing away. But yeah, I miss having the graphs. The graphs... To draw a graph in GDOT is way more complex than it sounds. It isn't really a graph library or a way to easily do it. Like if I go in here and I type in graph, link object tools as graphs and pathfinding. Yeah, that's not going to really do a graph literally, is it? Yeah, it's for city building and different stuff. I don't think... No, it's a grid basis. Yeah, it could possibly do it, but it wouldn't do it naturally. It would be quite broken. Yeah. Hi Cass, how you doing? How's your day? As you can see, my day is going very well. I did see your message this morning. I do need to remember to do it. I got swamped down last night, and I need to really sort it out because I've been putting it off for too long, I think, haven't I? 23. Cass, you missed when I looked at this and said, that looks like 32 pixels. And I was dead on the dot, which is kind of scary. Almost 8 AM. Got coffee's perfect. Yeah. Remind me, Cass, you have kids? Is that why you need the coffee? Got little ghosts running around being a pain in your ass? Or is that... I think that's Vex. Prez. Fuck, what's his name? It's not Hemi. Fucking hell, what's his name? Vez? Oh, I forgot my own friend's name. Oh, jeez. What if his name is him? No, you've not got kids, okay. It's him I'm thinking of. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's not the right font size. I don't think this is... design docs are always a pain. Let's have a look. It's the right font size, it's just not the right... It's not match. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's supposed to be 11. Okay. And then it's supposed to intentionally be a slightly offset color. Right, let's preview this quickly. And we're gonna... Oh, I forgot it's gonna do that. Shit. Give me a second. I want to preview it to see how the text looks, but I forgot it does all that. So let's turn off global functions. Okay, if I update this, obviously there's no movement, so that's fine. If I make a button called J, and J's full job, it's going to be to take us to that. Why is that not applying? Oh, there we go. Sensor on object. Camera on objects. Force boundaries. Sensor camera on object. There we go. And it's going to be build menu. Alright, let's see if this looks in the game. It's still bright to where it shouldn't be, and it's not doing what I want it to do. Right, turn off you, turn off you, turn off you, turn off you. Okay. Everything's off minus the very basics. Wow. That looks so strange. 1 minute, I want to go back to that. That is so strange. Wow, I've never seen the game so bare-bone. All of the systems are off. There's no time, there's no date, there's no economy, there's no core. Everything's just a static image. But we can see this. What do you think? I feel like I may have fucked up having these two this way around. I also love how I never changed the text values. It's just something plant. I'm not sure about this either though. 1 sec. In my design... Granted it's set up in such a way, but... What's the padding? 8 by 8, so it's already a bit too far in. You know what? Let's try and make it a bit better then. So what I'm going to do, we're going to get you. Now we know it's 8 by 8, so from here, yeah, it's just a static 8 down. From you, it's... Oh, okay. 26, that's 8 by 8. And then it's set to 80% visibility. I don't know if I think that's the right way to go. I think that might be an error. Although, do we like it? Let's put a value next to it, okay? So this is the production. So in this case, the value would be... Yeah, and it would simply be copy of you, so we'll do it like this. Now, to be fair, I need to shrink this to the exact height it needs to be. So that, I'll make it in even numbers so it fits properly. It's 26. 26 is there. Alright, go down to the bottom with that. You're 32. Oh, okay, this is getting easier. 20. No, 24. Yeah. You got work today, Cass? You working or you home? Tell you what I got today. I got me some darts. We have a few Texans in town, by the way, as well, in the UK. Just a couple. And I may have taught myself into a darts competition with them. So, you know, it's actually funny seeing Texans, like, not have any guns. They can't resort to that. I love trolling them about it. Be like, what are you going to do, shoot me? But knowing my luck, someday they'll find a way to get a gun in the UK. It's like an addict looking for cocaine, just a Texan looking for his revolver. They'll find a way. So that's maybe 13, just bump it up a little, and let's preview it. In fact, I want to change the values of the text quickly as well. Oh, hello. Okay, I'm kind of liking it, so we'll change you to say output. I haven't played darts in 15 years. Yeah, so my manager of where I'm living has a boyfriend, obviously, and her boyfriend wanted a dartboard in her house, or apartment technically. So they got a dartboard like the same day because he's not got ADHD, but he's pretty much on the fucking border of it. He's like, I need a dartboard, so they get a dartboard. The amount of holes in her wall is obscenely high. And I'm like, how the fuck do you guys miss the board so much? And I just rock. I'm like, bullseye, bullseye, bullseye. Like, see, it's not that fucking hard. And that was a fluke. I've never hit 3 bullseyes in a row. I think there was just something that day that was like, you know what? Time to show off. But anyway, yeah, so these Texans were at the bar. Where there's a giant row of dartboards. There's at least like 12 of them. And I'm just chilling, minding my own fucking business, as I should be. And I've taught myself into a competition, so... delete these. I'm going to remake these. So yeah, I'm an idiot. But what's new? 2, 3, 4, 5. Getting these tags to be the values like that. Right, let's work this out. Why is it when I duplicate these, they never duplicate the way they're supposed to duplicate? The only good thing about darts is it's like quick maths, so you kind of just learn to do maths quickly is what you get from it. That's probably the only benefit I've had in darts. Just got better at maths. The only way you get better at maths is having to deal with medical situations and be very stressed trying to do calculations in your head about how not to kill the person. That's definitely a way to get quick math skills quickly. Would not recommend. Very stressful. Okay, 1 second. So you're correct. You're incorrect purely because that value's off by 1. Expand that. Take away 1. You stayed the same because you're centered objects. That's fine. You didn't because... actually, I don't know why you didn't, to be fair. So it's supposed to be 18, that'd be 90, okay. There you go. Right, set that. Set that. You two. Okay, cool. 5 Texans, 1 down, kinky. Well, as long as they don't have a couch around me, I don't think I'll be a problematic situation. I would love to see us have a bar fight, though. That would definitely be an interesting altercation. I actually think they would lose. You know why? Any idea why I think the Texans would lose a bar fight? Why did I just type that? Am I an idiot? Redo it. Undo. Oh, undo doesn't work apparently. So I think they would lose purely because they wouldn't be used to the UK way of doing things. It would be like a cultural difference in a fighting, and you might say, oh, but they're Texans. It doesn't automatically mean they're going to win the fight. And if anything, they're outnumbered. Might be 1-me in the moment, but, you know, Europeans have their opinions about Americans, is all I'm going to say. And you're currently not doing so well in the European opinion sphere anyway. So, you know, I think they would lose the bar fight. For 1 or 2 key reasons. Right, let's type all this out. So this is going to be the efficiency. If I spell that wrong, I don't really care. This is going to be workforce. Upkeep. Uptime. I'm taller than the Texans is the advantage I have. Although someone, who was it who said this to me the other day? They said it's not really about the height. If anything, it gives an advantage and a disadvantage at the same time. So, yes, you've always been the laughing stock. However, key thing here, right? You've gotten a worse reputation lately than usual. And I'm not going on about the politics of it. We both kind of get what I'm hinting at. But it's not doing any better than it was. In fact, it's so bad that people are like okay with the words "the German army has arrived" in a said country, which no one before this whole new situation has ever thought, yeah, I'm happy to hear the words "the German army has arrived." Even when I heard it, I was like, am I supposed to feel happy about this? But no. So you say you pay for everything. Yes and no. You have your military bases here. However, you get tax benefits for that. We in Afghanistan and other wars you've been in, if troops are injured in that region, you didn't go straight back to America. You went to German hospitals in Germany. For context. If you're about NATO, yes and no, it's hit and miss. Like, for example, you have the tanks, but you store them in a warehouse in Europe. You use European rail, European fuel, I guess, going to be technical, airspace, boats, docks, cranes. So you might say, yeah, you pay the biggest amount. But then you got the logistics side of it, and logistics will always kind of say you don't actually pay the biggest price. Because managing all that in a logistics point of view, which is my forte, thankfully, I can say to you for definitive fact that you own the tank that's in Europe, but you don't own all the infrastructure to getting the tank into Europe. Therefore, the tank is useless without European countries paying for said infrastructure. And to just move a fucking armored personnel carrier is a fucking nightmare. We have medical ones. So I can tell you that for a fact. It sucks like nothing you'll ever see before. It sucks more than a person in Las Vegas running a brothel. Oh, let's just build MGR. Oh, now, yeah. It is funny though. I do like the comment that someone said the other day that we have to ask Americans to stop beating up. Fuck, what was it? Pickpockets. And I was like, no, I've seen pickpockets get beaten by Europeans. It's not new. It's just less common because they don't get caught as easily. That's the issue. It's very common that they get beat up. It's just not very common that they get caught doing the act of pickpocketing. I'm gonna make this offset a little because I suspect it's not centered properly. It doesn't look centered anyway. Do I make sense with that cast? Like it's... yeah. It's strange. I'll word it that way. I just realized I've put this 10,000 pixels offset from the map because I want it on the page. And it's not going to work well. Oh yeah, no, we value it the same. It's not any different. And I'm actually curious now. I remember reading this from like a tourism alert because I was looking at going holiday over there. And apparently you have more pickpockets. They're just even better than the European ones. So for Americans, it's in specific states, whereas in Europe, it's in specific countries. So places like Rome, Paris, and Barcelona are widely known for hotspots for pickpockets. Okay, here's the argument I'm going to make. Have you ever seen that documentary where the planes came back from, say, like Vietnam, whatever it was? It was World War II, actually. And they were like looking at the graph and they were like, the holes in the plane are here, so this is where the problem is. And they didn't see holes in other parts of the plane. It's like that. So you see pickpockets in Rome, Barcelona, Paris, but you're not checking for pickpockets in my town of, wherever in Manchester. I'm not going to say my town name, purely because it's not as common to think that that'll happen there, but it definitely does. In fact, it absolutely does, because I mean the crime statistic on that, you know what I mean? So it's just you focus on that high population zone, more people there, more likely you'll catch it, you know, more enforcement as well. So it's interesting. But yeah, I get what you mean. I'm indoorsy as well. I handle logistics most of my time. And when I'm not handling logistics, I'm doing something like this, or I'm studying. So I'm got many fish in many buckets I'm handling. So I'm not the first person to ask about these things, but I have a rough idea. I do pay attention in those meetings occasionally when they get talked about. I think the funniest thing I actually paid attention to was the women's, like, this was a long time ago. They had like a seminar about women and periods in the workplace to understand women's struggles with it, something like that. And I paid attention, but people thought I didn't. And then after it, they had like a period pain simulator, right? And I did the thing where you like have it set up to you and you just get, I guess, electrocuted is the way I'll word it. It feels like you're being electrocuted, having had that happen a few times, because once I was doing house, like replacing a plug, I kept turning off the circuit, but I wouldn't turn off the plug, so I was like, this is great. I was just like, fuck it, we'll do it live. It got a little zap, nothing too crazy, and then it fixed the plug, and then it did turn off once I sorted out the issue. But yeah, the amount of times I've said, fuck it, we'll do it live with electrics. So there's that. But anyway, going back to the period simulator thing, such a weird electrocution pain that thing has. But then I was understanding like why it was happening and why it's similar. So, you know, we just have workplace. So the reason why is handling patients that having chronic period issues was why we were doing it, while also understanding women in the workplace. It's not something you normally would see, Cass. It was a once in a lifetime, for me at least, experience. It also happened in an event where anyone could go, not just us. So it was a very public event. A charity was one running it. I can't remember their name now because it's years ago. Like 2018 maybe a bit sooner than that. But yeah, the workplace harassment ones suck like anything you've had before. It's worse than the UK's equivalent of OSHA, which is the Health and Safety Executive, which is the most fucking fancy-ass name you can come up with for it as well. Those are annoying. So much so when we had the Queen's last Jubilee, I was staying at my my last remaining grandparents' house. So somehow I've got one around still, but you know, cherish them while you do. And she's like, I need these decorations putting up from balcony to balcony. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Said, you have a ladder? She said, yeah. I was like, perfect. So I don't want to have to knock on people's door and, you know, put a string in, feed it through, get another string, have someone tie at the bottom, pull it up. That would have been the alternative if we did have a ladder. I already knew how I was going to do if we did have a ladder. But so, as on the ladder, no shoes, in socks, no sort of any safety equipment at all. Who happens to walk out the door of the building? Fucking health and safety exec for that building. She looked at me, I looked at her, and I said, I'm not working. And that was it. Because when you're a private person, you're not actually employed, you're not doing anything employed, it's your own liability, your own negligence. So, you know what I mean? It's like, I assume the risk of not giving a shit. If I fall off this ladder onto grass, I'm not going to really care that much. There was one part where there was a bit of paving, but the rest was grass. So I was like, if I fall from this, it's going to like maybe leave a bump. And the time it will take me to put my shoes on compared to tying 2 knots is so trivial. And I was enjoying my afternoon sipping seltzers. What was I drinking? Do I have a picture? 1 second. I'll be able to find it because it's a key date. I was enjoying something. Put it that way. Some light alcohol to start the day. Picture. White Claw. I was drinking White Claw. That was it. Found the picture. I'm not sure on the stream, but I found the picture. I was drinking White Claw on a fucking sun tanning bed. Lay chilling out in my grandmother's garden, enjoying myself. So, yeah, of course I wasn't wearing shoes. I actually, that's a lie. I had sandals, but I wasn't going to get a fucking ladder with sandals. I'm not insane. I'm crazy. I'm not insane. But yeah, no, so she basically gave me the stink eye, and I was just like, I don't give a shit. Now, had I been working, and I do actually share an office in that building, like a communal office. Had I been working, I would have had my ass ripped big time. But I wasn't, so I got away with it. Yeah, it's one of those, you assume the risk. If you don't care about falling onto grass, no, fine. I'm sure my insurance company would have a disagreement. And before you say, wait, Insurance Health UK? Yes. So it's not like private healthcare. The way it works, actually, in reality, is they would support me mental health, legal, housing. They cover a lot more, but your employer pays for it. You don't pay for it. But they would have an opinion because, say, I fell off a ladder and suddenly I've got financial hardship because I can't work. Yeah, they would have an opinion quicker than I could say, wait, please don't. So, but no, they're quite good. It's weird though, because I have the same insurance company for university as I do for work. So when I call them, I have the option of saying my workplace organization or my university one. Which is funny because when they search my name, they get both results. So they always have the question, wait, are you this one or this one? I'm like, I'm both. You've got 2 records for the same person. So, which makes their record keeping suck because you can't have 2 people technically linked. So some poor soul has to update both records to match. And, well, that's their problem. It's not mine. Oh yeah, alright, let's see. So I want to make this a future update. I don't want to get into the weeds of having modules yet. I want the modules to be highly customizable for the buildings, but I don't care to do it right now. The other thing is, it's strange to me, like I was watching something the other day, I have a certain medication. In the UK it costs, let's say £11. So if basically the way it works, Cass, most medications fall under a specific bracket of cost. So on average it's 11 quid for any medication. £11. £11 into dollars is probably like $13, give or take. $14.72 for any medication, right? I'm on a specific medication. It's about 28 when I get all three of them. And I can get them through the NHS on like a subscription basis for say $140 a year. That's it. I then look at the US and my medication cost in the US. Let's find out. I'm going to have to round it so it's not so obvious, but let's find out what it costs. Oh my Jesus. That's absurd. Wait, what's that work out as? I need to do maths now, 1 second. I actually want to know this. So, fun fact, it's not covered by insurance in the US, but it would cost anywhere, depending on the state, between $25 and $75. That's the way I round it. A month. Yeah. Cass, if I had $1 to say every time I've heard that said, I'm not saying politically any party in particular, because both say it, and it's very hard to regulate capitalism in that way. But put it this way, I would be billed beyond belief on my medication. But I'm going to go a bit further, 1 second. Let's get the exact pill. Get a generic one. Okay, so because I didn't factor in the milligram, I just wanted the basic one. But just one box of 1 month supply of the key medication, it's $15. In California, it's $30. Why does it change state by state? Why is there such a random variable to this? Why is it so specific? Okay. So my monthly expense would actually be between $22 and $60 if I live in a decent state. Which can work out to, you know, maybe 22 cents per tablet. Which isn't that bad. Yeah, sales tax. Let's compare it to the UK then. Yep, so it's about a $2 difference for retail out of pocket for the US to the UK. UK easily wins, yeah. So I can get all my pills for $14 if I do specific paperwork for a private prescription, bear in mind. And that's private. $14 for all my tablets, private. Whereas in the US, I can do the exact same thing for $60. And I can't live without them, so it's not like it's optional. That is bonkers, though. Even better part, though. So in the UK, we have what's called a HS1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. It's basically a HS stands for health, like security or whatever. It means basically if you can't afford this, because you're on a specific benefit from the state, or you just can't afford it, you're financially not able to. You just paperwork, and you get it for free. Students get it for free by default if you're under 18, or if you're 18 while still studying. And I'm trying to think who else. The elderly, those on pension, that kind of stuff. pension credit. So you get that kind of thing covered for you by the state. Same with dental care, same with eye care. That's why there's a HS1, 2, 3. So 5's dental, I know that. 1 and 2, I believe, are NHS. I think 3 is eye care, if I remember correctly. I don't remember what 4 is. Find the specifics. I don't know how we sidetracked to this, but let's have a quick look. So, yep. So specifically, if you are under the age of 16, 16 to 18 in full-time education, or 60 or over, you get your prescription automatically free, and you're in the healthcare exemption category. In England specifically, not Wales, not Scotland, they're slightly different laws. If you're pregnant or early motherhood, or have had a baby in the last 12 months, with a valid maternity exemption certificate, you get it for free. If you have a medical condition, i.e. diabetes, epilepsy, hydrazine, I can't pronounce it, Addison's disease, sorry, not Alzheimer's. Another type of diabetes, because there's 2 obviously, hypothyroidism, and a mix of other diseases and cancer, that's all free. Cancer's the weird one, I'm going to come back to that in a sec. Or if you're on benefits, so if you have a HC2, HC3, that's for the low income schemes. If you're from the armed forces or have war pension, you're automatically considered to get it for free, with some rules with that. If you're in hospital, it's always free. Including, and this is actually interesting, some items are always free, including contraceptives in certain outpatient clinics. Although I think that's the same in the US for kids in schools. I could be wrong on that. I think it is in some states anyway. And pre-prescription payment certificate, PPC. Now that's what I have. PPC just means you pay a fixed amount every year, every few months, or however long you do. And that will mean you get it set at that rate. Therefore, all your prescriptions at that point then 3, regardless of what it is. So you pay a fixed amount, you get the prescription. Doesn't include hormone replacement therapy, HRT. That's exempt. I only know that because that's on the fucking first line of the contract for that. But yeah, so going back to cancer. Now, my dad has cancer, and essentially, cancer is a really weird system. You have to apply for a specific grant for treatment. Now, you don't actually do the paperwork necessarily. The hospital does it for you, and it gets processed bureaucratically. Because cancer treatment costs a fucking boatload. And even in the UK, it's expensive. But the government pays it. But the government needs a paperwork trail to award someone payments for that. Really bonkers, in my opinion. And it's quite complex. Once you've got it, at least you're set. I just don't understand why it has to be so complicated. So, yeah. Wild as it can be. That's definitely... It looks off. I don't know what it is. Like, I look at this and I look at this. They don't look like they're on the same level. But yeah. Hopefully they do in the US change. I'm just so, like, surprised how... Forgive my French here. The situation pharmaceutically in the US. It should be, to a degree, a basic right in a sense. If you can't afford it, people shouldn't die because of that. It's not survival of the fittest, let's put it that way. We're not, in Darwin's era, so there needs to be a better approach, and it's about finding that balance. Because the US is a capitalist country, but how far should capitalism go? And what's the value of a life compared to a pill? That kind of thing. That's me getting philosophical, not political. So, but yeah. I understand you have like Medicare and Obamacare. I think that's obviously all flopped. I don't understand the whole picture, but I know it's not currently being funded. Although they promised to pass a bill in December, was it? It doesn't matter. I used to have an American ex-girlfriend that lived in the UK. She still lives here, actually, from Nevada, which is why it was very awkward one stream when I was spending an entire stream staring at the fucking Nevada state over here because it was broken in many ways. I was like, I don't want to stare at this right now. Yeah. Yeah, lobbying and all that, yeah. It's always been that way, and it won't necessarily change anytime soon, is my bet, unfortunately. It really shouldn't be that way. I feel like other countries get it right. The US is just in that unique boat of very capitalist. Because the UK is capitalist, Germany is capitalist, France is capitalist. Now, the French have to pay as well to a certain degree. I know that because I was in a French hospital once. It isn't stupidly expensive. My entire hospital fee came to like £25 and something stupid because the rest was covered by my holiday insurance. The only thing that wasn't covered was the paracetamol I took and the meals. £25. Probably less than $30 for a 6-day stay in a French hospital. 7 days, actually, if you count arrival and exit times. So, you know, if I went to an American hospital, I bet you insurance would cover a third of it, and I would have like a few $1,000s in debt. That's just drastic. And in context, it wasn't even an optional hospital visit. It's not like I went, oh, I need to go to hospital. It was, I'm in a hospital now. Great. So, you know, stuff needs fixing. I'm not sure how it will change. I will be interested to see what they come up with, if anything. But you never know. It might eventually get fixed. I'm just not going to hold my breath on it, if you don't mind me saying so. Because I suspect it will take a bit longer than my lifetime for it to be perfectly fixed in the US. I'll do 1,000 on that, just so it looks interesting. Oh. These are all placeholder values, by the way. I just want to see how it looks when I put all the stuff in. Let's keep it lowercase per day. When I'm doing 2 zeros for these values, it's just to see. Yeah. Oh, I can bet that. Problem is, it's getting everyone to agree to make the change that's always the issue. You get people that go, yeah, it's a great idea. We'll put that in for a motion, and it never goes anywhere. Which is also funny because it's the same in the UK. Actually, no. Cool fact. The government wanted to make a change to the law to require digital ID, right? You might have heard of this. The government got so blasted by all the MPs in Parliament that it clearly isn't going to go and pass. The MPs were so annoyed at it. I mean, the UK has never been an ID state in that sense. There's no requirement to provide ID, to carry ID. So the idea of having ID on a phone, mandatory to do anything, flopped. And it not only flopped in that sense, it really, really went badly in terms of they wanted to have it mandatory, right? Make the MPs exempt. But then the really funny fucking part to all this was they'd had a paper where they wanted to expand it to have like cover housing, healthcare, rent, insurance, and all these different things intertwined so the government has all this data. And that paper was basically public knowledge because it's publicly written, so it had to be published. That pissed off the MPs even more. They were like, yeah, no. So the Prime Minister, what we call PMQs, Prime Minister's Questions, Prime Minister PMQ question, which is every, is it Tuesdays or Wednesdays? I usually watch them after the fact, so forgive me on this. Tuesdays, right? Oh, sorry, it's Wednesdays afternoon. Yeah. It lasts for about half an hour usually. It didn't in this case. It went on for fucking ever. They had to pack Parliament. It was so fucking packed with MPs. They had to open early, get everyone in, and everyone got 3 minutes to say their piece in a select group of people. It went on forever. The Prime Minister got blasted, and it turned out in his own party they were against it. So the idea of digital ID is probably dead on arrival for now. We had the same thing many years ago when we were with Europe. Europe wanted a one ID, and the PM at the time didn't like the idea. I think it was Blair? No, it could have been Blair, because Blair wants a digital ID back when he was around. Oh, not digitally, when a physical. Who was it? Whoever it was, the Europeans wanted one ID. Now, their logic made a bit more sense. It was so you could go from European country to European country, and it'd be tracked. Now, they have that modern-wise, but back then they wanted it physical, like handheld. If you went into another country, you presented this ID, and you said, I'm from X country, and it was all one format, so you couldn't have counterfeits and forgeries. Because you say you're from, like, say, Belgium, and you come into the UK, how confident are we that the UK border guards are going to recognize a Belgium ID as authentic? Not very. So that was kind of the logic behind that. But the people in the UK back then didn't want it. So it was political suicide to announce, hey, I want to put up this new ID system. So yeah. And then the now Prime Minister thinks, yeah, it's been enough time, we can pitch this. Got absolutely decimated on arrival. Let's find the exact quote. I remember there was a quote. I don't want us to play this. Yeah. Watch the PMQs live as the government, this is from the news, as government U-turns on mandatory digital cards, known as digital ID card. The only person left trying to push it was the Prime Minister, basically. His own party sold him out on that one. Keir Starmer at PMQs for digital ID. He welcomes the latest U-turn in the idea as the government drops plans requiring workers to sign up to its digital ID scheme in order to prove their right to work in the UK. She says the plan was rubbish. Now, there was one quote I really liked being an IT expert, and that was from the Minister for... what was he called? 1 minute. Minister for Digital Information or Cleanliness? He said something that was really, really good. Trying to find it. He basically said that, can we name a single UK infrastructural database that hasn't been hacked? Government agency? I mean, we kind of have secure passwords, for crying out loud. Is it? I'll read the quote. Here you go. This scheme would record a person's name, date of birth, information of nationality, residency status, a photo, basis for biometric security similar to an e-visa, and would be available to those who wish to voluntarily opt in. That's a whole load of crap. We all know it wouldn't work that well. What do you say? If your house doesn't work, you package don't get delivered, you will change things. Exactly, yeah. I have a feeling... I already read that, actually. Hang on, why am I reading that again? I have a feeling anytime I'm I distract too much. No, you don't. It's a good conversation. Yeah, so it's called function creep. In other words, adding features to it wasn't intended to have added. Yeah. Yet the proposal raised significant data protection and government concerns, in particular, reservations around the creation of a centralized repository of biometric data, which could increase the risk of data breaches, cyber attacks, especially given the high-profile incidents that have occurred in the UK in the last year alone. Yeah. Put it this way, if they can hack the medical data of government officials, that shit's not going to be that secure, because I think we all know the government medical information is going to be very secure. So, you know. To just make the system, it would have cost £1.8 billion. And due to the significant public and parliamentary backlash, the government had to drop the mandatory digital ID for proving the right to work, making it optional tool alongside other documents like passport with further consultation planned. In other words, it's not going to be mandatory. It's going to be entirely optional. In other words, no one's going to willingly use it because they would have to be stupid to think that the government is going to keep that data secure or even safe. But you know it's bad when his own Minister for Digital, whatever it was, someone that oversees the digital ministry, who the fuck was it? I can't remember the name. Basically, they oversee the Committee for Digital Hygiene of Passwords and Database Safety and Security and Data Breach. They oversee all this stuff, and they basically said, this is going to be the biggest pot of gold, and it's going to be targeted so much, it's going to be an open fucking door by the end of the year. I'm really paraphrasing that and adding my own bits to it. That's pretty much what they said in a nutshell throughout Parliament, and this person in particular. And it couldn't be any more correct than anything, because it would be a gold mine of data, and it would be pilfered in mere minutes of turning on. And the fact that MPs don't want to be on it, you know, says something as well. But let's be honest, it would get so exploited so quickly, it would have no chance at all at lasting a minute. Anyway, so let's see what I'm looking for. So I already gave all this stuff off to the translator for this, bear in mind. And the translators, in their own defense, have done everything right, minus I don't see the building names. Right, okay. That sucks. I'm also seeing no Zadin? Zadin. So Zadin is Ukrainian for per day. Za. Den. Day. But I'm not seeing a K, so I'm seeing that the Ukrainian, yeah, Spanish did the same. French did, yeah. So only English might have a K. Maybe English might not have a K when we're done with this. Can't read Japanese, so I don't know if that looks right. That's German. I can recognize German, I can't speak it though. Yeah, so they didn't do any of the translation with the K, but some languages have something similar, some don't. Or it might be entirely different. It's not a big issue. I mean, we've not even put the text in yet, so it's not an issue at all. We need to definitely do that now. So we're going to go into our editor. We're going to start filling in the blanks a bit here. I feel like America's got more chance of getting digital ID before any European country that hasn't already got it. On a state-by-state level. I know it will get absolutely locked beyond belief by the Supreme Court when they get a chance to get around to it. Assuming they did actually block it. What if they don't really care? Because, was there a case where someone said driver's licenses shouldn't exist in the US? That's going to be a self-cit case, isn't it? Okay. As seen in Stinney v. Virginia. And other federal and state conflicts over... Yep, cool. Arizona versus United States was the DREAM Act. Read that before. New York's Green Light Law. Yeah. Stinney v. Virginia. Fowler v. Michigan. They're both really recent, 2019 and 2025. So Stinney v. Virginia was 2025. I probably pronounced that wrong. Fowler was only 2019. So the first one was to debate if a driver's license could be suspended for court debt, finding that winning at preliminary stages wasn't enough to secure attorney fees unless they won on the merits impacting due process claim. Okay, cool, fine. Early cases established that suspending a license for unpaid fines without adequate notice or a hearing violates the 14th Amendment's due process claim. Clause. That's correct, yeah. Federal versus state authority, don't care about that. Right. Those are the cases I can see. I know there's like a full-on database someone made for it. I don't like searching for it too much, but I know the Sovsits oppose it due to a proposed amendment that never passed. And what happened was, I don't remember the exact case name, but it didn't pass for simplicity, we'll say. And the reason it didn't pass was the vote was just slightly shy from the states. And the way it's worded is so poor anyway. So Sovsits think it means anyone... That was it. The Bonapartes. Napoleon's brother, I think it was, moved to America. Or cousin or someone. And he got a job in government, and they wanted to make it illegal in the US to have a title of like a lord or a bishop or something royalty related. So they proposed this whole thing that said if you have this title from another country bequeathed to you and you live in the US, you're not eligible for public office, so and so and so. It didn't pass by one vote, I think it was from all the states, and all the states would be adding so fast, and then the British came along, we burnt down some of your shit, you lost a record of how many people voted, so someone had to go around and ask all the states, did you vote for this? And some states said yes, some said I don't know, some said no, and so it was logged as a proposed amendment in the past book, meaning like this past vote in the Senate or the House, whatever it was passing in, even though it didn't pass, and all it said in the notes was it didn't pass, but as a notable mention, this was a thing, but we don't know the exact number, so we're going to note it. And the Sovsits found that, and they're all like, this now means I can drive around like a fucking lunatic because you can't have prosecutors because they have fancy titles like nobility. Therefore, you can't be prosecuted by the state because their title's invalid because of this stupid amendment. It wasn't necessary. That's my whole rant, but I remember the case now. Really stupid is how I'll word it. Or status instead. And we'll change this because we've got cost per day down there. Are you still there, Cass? Have I killed you from all the information? I'm going to change the music up once this song ends because I realise it's been looping a bit. There we go. And then I might send to them actually. What's the 157? Let me go to one of these and just check it's University 157 first. I knew it wasn't. Oh wait, no, hang on, it is because this isn't stretched. 157. They should all be equal to a fraction. Okay, cool. Grab these. Alright, so if it's 157, it's 48 that we're factoring in. We take off the 4, it's 157, and then divide by 2. One second, I'm replying to a message. I was gonna... Where's my... 157.48. That's 109, so that'd be 35.5. Are you sat? Am I sat? Oh, yeah. I was so confused. What type of message is that? I thought, am I sad? Yeah. I don't know what's going on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm trying to move it by that. I can't actually tell. Fives. Okay, I'm moving in fives. Cool. So, 54.5? Fuck if I got my eye. So, let's count this out. So I need to get 9 in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I've done that very wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Doesn't look right, does it? 10, 11? Looks more right. I can live with that. Actually, it wouldn't be 9 because 9 would be 45, yeah, so 11 is right. There we go. We like it. That's just to hide them out for now. And to also follow Valve's rules about not having values not visible. Not visible, having stuff say like early access coming later or future update. They're a bit stingy on that. Not stingy, what's the word? Picky. Sometimes you can pull it off, sometimes you definitely can't. Switch this out. I'm gonna go with feeling great there first. Okay, cool. What do you think, Cass? Do you like it? Like the UI change minus the graphs down here? Well, I'll wait for you to respond to that. I'm just gonna check this. What did I just pay for? I want to check I didn't just get like someone did a card charge because it said I paid for something. Now I'm just confused. I love seeing my savings account look stupidly high. I paid Google £2.99. If I can Google. Can I hide this balance? That's not open when I open the app. I used to be able to. How do you hide balance? There it is. Hide balance. Hide balance. I don't want it to show when I open the app. I want to click on it to know if I want to see the balance. Why is my credit score not updating? I've been waiting all week for my credit scores update because I know what it's going to go up to, and I'm very happy to see it finally go past that mark. And it's not. It says it's available on the 18th. Today's the 18th. It is TransUnion, so maybe it's American time. So I guess my next question is the credit card paid? Has that gone through? Because I paid that 2 days ago and it's still not showing it. So my next question is that showing as paid? Down to the absolute minimal amount left in it. Because if I keep it at a certain amount, it's being used, but not ridiculous. It's not. Why have you not gone through? It says it's pending still. No, I'm just confused why it's not gone through. It is the weekend though, so I'm not too surprised. It might be till tomorrow I see it. And then I'll just contest if the balance is wrong because of that, because yeah. Okay, this is looking good, right? I think it is. So, these are all values, they're not buttons. These will be buttons. We've only got these buttons literally, so this should be an easy one. 4 buttons to put in and that'd be it. So, I already know how I'm going to do this. Let me go into here. Let me grab a standard button. We're going to grab U and EU as my standard. Yoink that into there. Oh, wait, are you green? No, it says Y on the label. Grab that. Paste. Delete that. Grab that. So, open and paste. And delete that. Control E for export. No, what's Control for export? So that will be... Oh my god, they're so small, Windows can't even see them. The zoom, 800% zoom's nothing to be able to see that. Right, we'll call it button standard box white. Standard box, and then we've got standard box white clicked. Hovered. We're guessing which is which because I can't tell. Right, let's go into the editor. Alright, and all I need to do is add a button. And this is going to be a standardized button, so in theory, should be easy. We'll call it standardize white. Standardized white's cube, so because it's square wise, it shouldn't matter what size it is, but we'll have a standard one anyway. We don't want labels on it, so we can get rid of that. Grab all U. I'm going to leave it at the size it is. So idle, we'll need to use the idle sheet. I always use the same button for that. It's perfect for the job, to be fair. It's just like a blank asset that has no anything on it. So it just renders it as empty. Now I'll use the one for this size, and then we get hover. Now then. Can I... Oh my god. I understand women like sending huge messages, which were 4 minutes of a voice message to me. What are you trying to do? Kill me? What is this? 4 whole minutes. Look at my correspondence here, and I'm kind of trying to work right now. It's fine though. 1 minute audio file. A song? I can't think what this would be. Just to double check. Spotify quiet is on the caption in Spotify, so we'll just test this quickly. Choose file from file. This is Harvard. clicked. So it should be called pressed, not clicked, but it's fine for now. Five, six. See if this works properly. Yeah, they're backwards. Okay, we'll fix that. Fix this. Why is this not working? Oh, I'm previewing this. Oops. Right, let's have a see. Hello, welcome. You okay? Because I see you got like a silent emoji. What about me? I'm over here like trying to read documentation, so my brain's like, oh. Hmm. Right, let's try and fix this. So that's not preview. JavaScript's the main one for G-Dot. So if I turn it on in a minute, you'll see the map functional. Right now I've got it turned off, so I go in here one sec. Oh. Preview. It's gonna break the menu bit, isn't it? Yeah, that's broke. That's fine. Because it's set to center on screen, but the rest's working, so you kind of get the hint. This would be visible when you click on one of these. If you go to main, for example, you click here, you'd see this. That's broken because it's not got the code I'm working on right now. So I had it set to center to here and handle its location. Keep the gap of 20 pixels here, 20 pixels here. Keep it fixed in the middle and scale it when zooming happens. So yeah, I had it disabled in here just so I could work on it without it being an issue. Yeah. So, what about you? Do you program? Are you learning to, or what language do you program then? Right. Oh, hang on. I forgot. Yeah, turn them off. Okay, did I turn off J by accident? I did, because I turned this off. I should have done these specifically. Although, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take J out of that, put it there, and turn that off. There we go. There we go. I've got this over here, like 10,000 away, just so I can visually edit it. And then I can make this a group of elements that are linked like this. I've just been doing that. I want to do the rest of the buttons, so... been using Lua, good. Python, good. Trying to switch to C Sharp. C Sharp, okay. I'm currently working on learning C again. I've not used C in so long, I went on to try and use it, and I couldn't remember anything. So I'm in the process of relearning C and getting used to some differences on Linux since I last touched Linux, so I feel you. I feel you. I'll just decon just to keep it simple. Even though decon's kind of vague. Yeah, no, it's interesting you're trying to do C. Why C Sharp though? What's the specific reason you're learning it? You're doing it for a job, for a hobby, for fun, for educational reasons. Also, why Lua? Python's universal, but who cares about Lua's now? So for a hobby, okay. Fair enough. So let's see. So these now all link. Beautiful. I'm still tempted to move this up here, but the logic in my head is if you're pausing it, resume is the next thing you're going to do. You're going to resume it. So what are you planning to do instead, hobby, with the C# programming? Are you making anything in particular? Or are you just doing it, again, for fun? Because this is my hobby, making a game. I do like the mix between the G-Drop engine. Like, I can lay these assets out, and I can go in here, and if I go into, like, say, movement, I can have simple, you know, like, kind of scratch code, or if I go into core system, I can have actual JavaScript. You know what I mean? So... I make a 2D PvP game. Okay. Okay, that's cool. With C#. That's quite efficient then. I spelled that wrong. So if you know what I'm doing when I stop to do stuff off screen, I'm making my notes. So everything I do with this game, I keep like a detailed log of every change. So if I go and change something in the way it works, I can come back later and be like, I changed this. This is why I changed that. Yeah. So... Let's try and map out the non-built one next. So I have the next one next to it. And then... What's this game about? So in the old version, in fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show you the differences quickly first. I need to restart that. Hang on. I'm gonna let you kind of piece it together, but we're gonna have a bit of fun. We're gonna look at two comparisons, okay? So ignore this. This is because I got a piece of code loading that in intentionally while I was editing it. Okay, so there's your states, and I'm gonna go up to research. We'll focus on research for a minute. Okay, I'm going to one of these. You might get a hint already if you're designing something here. Now this is the UI right now, right? So you can see this UI. If I open the actual current version of the game, I don't know which version this is. It's loading from Steam, it says, so I hope it's a Steam build. Have that many builds in my game? Yeah, it is 1.3.1. Okay. If I switch over to the game here. Oh, OBS did not like that for a second. It did nothing. Game is built using Chrome. It's not built using Chromium OBS. OBS likes to be a pain. There you go. This is the UI difference. Like, okay. It's so much different, isn't it? Yeah, so it's about making weapons and selling them. It's government contractors, so it's kind of in the name. You're making arms, you're researching types of arms. This is how it used to look. And we're rebuilding the build. I was hoping to get this build out by the 20th. I'm currently putting together the building structure for the game. However, that's a lot more complicated than one might think. So, the other guy on the other side. Yeah, I can't remember what the designer was going for. There was some like idea behind what an old guy, but someone not too old that they could be around for like the first 40 years of the game. And that's what came out. So that guy's in his 40s, so it's like the game advisor. But yeah, it needs a bit of reworking on the hair maybe to make him not look as old. But yeah, no, he does look a bit like this time. So he's supposed to be a businessman, like slash knowledgeable person in that area. Um, hmm. Hmm. Was he successful enough to buy? I see that connection now with his face. Oh my god, I can't see that. I hope not, but but given that most millionaires have been to said Iceland, or billionaires and millionaires mix that from that era, I wouldn't be surprised if he was real. Wasn't prepared for that joke, but I love it. So yeah. Right, so what I want to do, we got this layout now. We've got two options here, and I'm half split on how to do this. Half split on how to do this. Do I make another layer and drag it across when needed, or do I keep this layer, have it delete certain elements, and... Ooh. You know what we're going to do first? Are these all named correctly? They are minus U, so we're going to rename U to say build MGR base. Let's just say base. Base is good enough. Right, so we're going to get our script. I'm going to edit our script to basically run this specific prefix. So I've got a script for context, if you can't tell. All the script's going to do right now when I run it in a second in the background is it's going to detect all the positions of all these elements I've added, and then it's going to put it into a console log, and I grab the console log and I know the exact positions of everything in one go, which is really useful. And I can go from there. So let's have a see. Where's my... I need to GitHub, don't I? I haven't got it in the game still, I don't think so. Actually, I might have it. One sec. Core system. Buried in one of these? No, it's not that. Not you, that's localizations. What are in you? You're checking the save data. That's fine. It's not you then. What are you? It's not you. I know you can't see right now. It's because I got the game open. I'm just looking for... Yeah, it's not in. I've took it out. Right, give me a sec. I got to GitHub. Help me find it. Okay, there we go. So it should be in this directory, right? While I'm looking for this, so your C# game, how are you gonna... What platform are you building that on? That's how I'll start with this. Where are you gonna build it? With terms of an engine, or are you gonna build your own? Nothing wrong with building your own. It would definitely be a bit more complicated, but you might learn something from that, to be fair. No, I mean like Unreal, Unity, those kind of things. That makes sense now. Build manager. Build. Using Unity. Makes sense. That's good. Have you used Unity before, or is it Unity that as well? Me personally, I've not used it in a while. I did have the script in the game. I'm a fucking idiot. I just found it. It was buried in the experimental menu, which it shouldn't be. Ah, that sucks. Use it for 3 days. Okay. That's not bad. What do you plan on doing with your game when you've made it? If you have any idea. I mean, in all honesty, when I made this game, I made this for getting a qualification. I didn't make it with the intent of putting it on Steam at first. So yeah. You know. I'll spread it to my friends to give them review damage. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, touche. Do bear with me, I'm on GitHub right now. Trying to find the script I wrote. Because I wrote a script where I just put a prefix in and it finds what I want, so... Right. This should, in theory, do the job. So I'm gonna drop it in here just so I know where it is. So JavaScript code, and it's the prefix build manager we want. And all we want to do is see if it works, and we can adjust the jank, because there'll be issues. I can guarantee that right now. Code never works the first time, and this one has just been edited by me with the prefix only, but I think this one's the broken one. Update. Did it break? It didn't. Can I move? I can. Can I zoom? I can. Nothing broke. So let us launch it again with a console log. Game opens. I just need to tab out and grab the console log. Okay. Build MGR, no matches. Huh. Maybe it's in the wrong place. If I put it in you, do you work better? Right, update. And I need to like just tab in real quick, you know, do this, like do that. That should now register exists. When I'm doing that, I've got a little command, so if I press J, it will go to that object, but the limiter will be like, no, you can't go there. Yeah. Did you use AI on the game start? No. So the art in the game, specifically the map, if you know about the map, this is hand drawn. So much so if you go really in, we go up here. You see how the layering's wrong where we've drawn over it a few times? You can kind of spot it as you go around, like this isn't lined up with the ridge properly, but it's like hand drawn, so it makes sense. So no, this is all physically drawn. It's took a long time. It's based off a real map that US made, so you know, yeah. I mean, what about the background Einstein talks to? The background Einstein talks. You mean the main page? Oh, in which case, yeah. So this is a placeholder. I know what you mean now. The artist that worked on the remake of this, we lost the file, so they're redoing it. So right now we've got the mock-up of the idea. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm with you now. This was AI, and it was supposed to be replaced. It was replaced, and then it was lost, and yeah, it is what it is. Can I pop back in? I can. Ooh, why are you loading in there? Where was that? Is that core? Where was that? Oh, it's broken stuff. Okay, strange. Change AI placeholder to random. TikTok prank. No, I won't, because if I do, I'll forget I'd done it. Knowing me. Let's have a see. Oh, I forgot. I need to check the console log. It's spitting out it can't find it. So, have I made a typo of any kind? Nope. It just doesn't seem to find it. Hmm. There isn't even that many lines of code. Let's see. If I run it now, is it going to make any difference? You're wondering why also you're seeing the game while I'm seeing the menus, because I have the game to show up on top of the game, on top of the designer. Purely because obviously if I'm previewing it, you're going to see that. I don't want to mess around with the layout of that right now in OBS because OBS likes to be a bit of a pain in the ass, so I've just left it alone to run. If I alter this, right, I should get an error. I've not got an error. Right, okay. Instead, I've just got bombarded with logs of 0 objects found. Right. Strange. Hmm. Is it because they're off frame? I know I'm pressing J a lot there to get it to reg. Let's see if that made any difference. Nope. Didn't make a difference. Our logs are all... Oh, hang on. That's hot reload. What are you? Hot reload was modified hot reload, was modified hot reload. Okay, that's them. What's that? Let's run again. Okay, let's try this. This surely shouldn't work, right? If this fixes it... Ooh. Yeah, it fixed it. I saw it straight away then. Okay. We got our data dump. Perfect. So, I can show you how that looks now. It's very simple to make a data dump for this, but it's also a bit of a pain in the ass. I actually can't show you because it's too big. All it is all the names, all their positions, and all that faff, so yeah. Right, so... Right. Where is our... Disable that function for now. And let's make sure this works. So we can take that data dump and it can get fed into the code because it formats it in the way needed, which it has done this time. So in theory, keyword is in theory, bear in mind, I can just drop it in here. He says. Okay, let's go to the game quickly. So that's disabled. If I click over here, boundaries are working. Everything working right? Click on some states at random. Cool. None of them have any data for this yet. It's cool. Right, okay. Let's see. Trying to... Right, let's take a minute. Let's flip over to here real quick. Disable you. Preview you. Just... Oh, hang on. They're handling boundaries, so... Yep. Will island be the start point? Nope. Yeah, you pick your start point from the main menu, but it's not island now. So it looks like everything is keeping its position. Nothing looks broken. The buttons are definitely fine. It's based on the industry type you pick. So you pick small arms, like rifles, pistols, shotguns. You have specific states that make those normally. If you make boats, you need to be near somebody that can build a boat logically, airplanes, so and so. They all have different benefits and negatives for certain states, and it all balances itself out in a sense. It's not perfect because it needs fine tuning, but you know, doing good. So let's make a note. So we've basically set it up as follows. All I want to do is make sure this works a second, but make a note of what I'm changing. Right. I've made the notes for this, so we're gonna see if I'm gonna change it now. Are we ready, guys? Do we think it's gonna work? Probably not, but you never know. Okay, update. Now then, we're gonna turn back on the events. Okay. Oh, fuck! It worked. You see here, it's locking it onto the screen. It's keeping the scale. So what's happening here is the actual scene itself is actually zooming in and out. So I can press certain keys as well to do that. But it is actually resizing it constantly. If I turn off that resizing script specifically, you're going to see how mayhem it is when I do this. Oh, God. You see? Yeah, so it breaks everything without that resizing script, minus the zooming and all that. I can click this and it's there. So yeah, without that resizing script that was written to handle the functions, it breaks everything. With it, even hot fixing it, it can turn on off, and it handles it perfectly. Am I winning? Yes. Surprisingly, stuff hasn't broken so far. I was expecting Cass for me to have some sort of JavaScript error, and I've had zero. Not even a minor error that doesn't affect anything but the game's like having issues. So it's working. So we aren't going to complain. All is good for now. Yeah. Right, so I've made the notes for that. I've logged what I've changed. The only thing I need to do now is work this out. So I need to have a thing that says I've selected this. So we'll go into our variables. We're going to go to game save file, not game save, sorry, temporary, and it's a state clicked value. And we're going to call the build click value, I guess. Okay. Right, that's fine. So we're going to then need to... Oh, I need to think now. Damn. Right, what we're going to do, we're going to do it quite openly. We're not going to do it in the JavaScript bit, because I feel like we can do better than that. So, don't need them. On a new function, add below, add within. Right, so... I think I don't need that anymore, so we can cut that out. I don't want it running it again. We'll collect the Git. That's the updated version. We'll drop that in GitHub real quick. I need to 2FA again. Fucking hell, GitHub. How many times have I to do this today? I can tell you right now, I've done it at least 3 times. I feel like I'm verifying myself way too much. Okay. Keep your recovery code safe. Thank you, GitHub. I'm so excited. Right, GCAO, not the other game. We've got 2 games. It's getting a bit complicated. Language percentage, 100% JavaScript. Really? Strange. Create new file. I'm gonna repeat this. Make changes and description. This code is used to find items, data in a scene or rescaling. Kermit. There we go. Good. Good, 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 good. And then all I want to do now is just trying to do this correctly. What was the... It's build manager underscore. It's the prefix. Let's log that. Right, so what I want to do now, I want to run it again quickly and I want to try something. What if we separate the code? This is UI, this is build manager. Build manager handles it separately, maybe? That seems to feel like a more logical approach. Even though I kind of don't want to do that. As a side note, I'm a little confused though. How does it... How? I'm so confused. Oh, no shit. I realize. Yeah. No, it makes sense. Me no need to question. I understand already. I was questioning how does it know it needs to go here, because I forgot I wrote that line the other day. It's just putting it where the rest of the stuff is, just matching it up. Yeah, makes sense. I forgot about that. I'm saying like, did I write code to do that? Or am I just like somehow got lucky? It knows it's in the center in a specific place, but yeah. Let me... like this, and then display. Hang on, guys. I'm literally writing this out like a maniac right now. What day was it? Thursday. It's right down when I edited this. Let's see. What else we change? What else we change? We scale is on there, so it's all those items. Mm. Right, that's that logged. So what we're going to do, guys, we are going to try something here. Go over to our, let's see. Core UI system. Script below. This is going to be called the build manager show/hide script. And this one's called the map scale. Okay, they're already named. Good. I'm over here naming stuff to make sure it matches up with the convention. Oh, so in theory now, if I tab in, it's gone, right? Nothing's there. If I need to make a button for this. The button's going to be clicking on you, so let's do that next, shall we? If it's clicked and it's unlocked, oh, how am I going to do that? I'm already having nightmares in this one. I'm just actually looking right now. Do I have any variables already linked to this? I'm trying to figure that out. Mm. Right. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I kind of looked back and forth reading through this. I'm not sat here being quiet. It's because I'm trying to read, and the way I understand this, we go into... Yeah. There isn't really an easy way. So slot data, the buttons need to correspond. That's problem one. I have an idea. 1 second. Because we already locked the slots, right? We can check if the slot's locked. Very simple. If it's not locked, we can check what status it's at. So these are unlocked. These are locked. So really they can't be selected. You can just hover them and click them. I'm going to have a pop-up that says this slot's locked until so-and-so. But yeah, that's just like a tooltip hint in a way, isn't it? So What did I just get sent? The Prime Minister's cat called Larry, which is not really the PM's cat, it's the building's cat. It's basically a cat that's the chief mouse, which just hunts mice at number 10. Almost tripped over the Polish Prime Minister's photographer. Larry ran across the front door pathway, causing the photographer to try and dodge him immediately. See this? Yep, bro was really trying not to step on a cat there. Damn. That must have taken a lot of willpower. Damn. Hmm. Uh, why can I not find this? I like on my comments, even though I make a good job of documenting, like I tapped up there, they just don't line up. Makes no sense. So, 1 minute. So it says one script handles the is it unlocked or not, but then it says 1 minute. Who handles it? Not you. Guys, this is why good documentation for a game, even if you're the only worker on it, is good. But even with good documentation, stuff like this happens all the time. Right, so that's the price management system. We don't want that. Because now I'm over here looking for something that exists and it's going to drive me insane. What are you? You are all the functions. Yeah, we don't want that. Like it's called temporary new, and it's clearly not temporary new, it's the functional. We can get rid of the old stuff. We don't need that. Dates. There we go. Escapes there, that's fine. There's an empty part for some reason. Don't know why. That's the movement system, that's the cursor. We don't care about either of those. Is it in core? I didn't think it was in core. But is it? How can I not find this? So I'm looking for a specific piece of code and I don't know where I'm looking. Not you. Definitely not you. Because my document says it's here, but this is definitely not it. Right, map events, 1 sec. Pause. Okay. So it's not a local function. Cool. It's not an experimental function. It's not in events. Not in global events. Please tell me I'm not thinking of the wrong thing and it's in research. It very well might be. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. Okay, I'm an idiot. I'm looking for something on the wrong page, and it's not even related. Okay, well, what handles the... Those are the states, so that's not it. These are the materials. It's not that either. Or is it? Wait. Language. No, it's not that. Not you. Fuck me. Can't find it. And I think it's because my mind's just clouded now. I've been spending so long doing this. We might take a break. Which means always we stop the stream for a bit. We'll come back later. Because I can't find what I'm looking for. And I can't think where it would be either. I'll check core system in case I'm missing it. Highly doubt it. Not in use it this. These are all the details. Button. I'm looking for the build buttons, because what they're called, the bot UI B1. Oh, hang on. What am I editing? Search bot UI B1 not found. 11 things were found with that tag? Ah, it's translations. Oops. Yep, no wonder there's only one thing found with that tag. Not in you, is it? Can't be. It's not that, because I've just built that. Bot UI B1. Nope, that's the build rows. It's the animation code. I can't find it. Okay, we're taking a break. So guys, I will end streaming now. We've been going for a good 3 hours, and I'll come back later tonight, might play a game, and I will just let my brain rest. I've got so much stuff I need to do anyway for tomorrow, so guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for popping in Cass, thanks for popping in Head of Radian. And have I missed anyone else in that? Nope. And I'll see you guys later, so nice seeing you.